Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today we are looking at something that's now becoming quite collectible. We are looking at the 2006 release by Sci-Fi Collector from their Wave 1 or first wave series of Torchwood action figures. And this particular action figure we are looking at today is of none other than the captain himself, Captain Jack Harkness. Who also obviously originally appeared in Doctor Who. Now, Torchwood was actually a spin-off from Doctor Who. It ran for 4 seasons, and there has been crossover between Torchwood and Doctor Who, where the whole of Torchwood has been in Doctor Who, and where Doctor Who characters have appeared in Torchwood. So there has been a crossover, but Torchwood was really geared more for the adult audiences or the older teenagers, if you like. And it did cover a lot of controversial subjects at the time. And it starred John Barrowman as Captain Jack Harkness, who obviously appeared in several Doctor Who episodes, and also Eve Miles, who also appeared in a Doctor Who episode as a different character, and also Freema Agyeman, who was Martha Jones, also made an appearance in Torchwood for a few episodes. Now, 4 seasons of Torchwood were produced between 2006 and 2011. With the final season being filmed in the US, and it was a co-funding by the BBC and Stars channel from the US. So yeah, I mean, very well received. It shows you that by the actual channels that the Torchwood aired on. So the first series aired on BBC 3, the second was on BBC 2, and the third and fourth series aired on BBC 1 because of the popularity of the show. Anyway, I've digressed. Let's get back to the item here. This is the figure in front of us, and it says First Wave Torchwood Poseable Action Figures, ages 5 and above, highly detailed 5-inch action figure. It says Fully Detachable Collectors Display Plinth, and it's Captain Jack Harkness. And there's an image of John Barrowman on the bottom left-hand corner there, as he was as Captain Jack in the TV series. And it says www.scificollector.co.uk. Okay, that's the front of the card. Now, before we have a good look at Captain Jack himself, let's spin the card around and let's see what we got printed on the back. Okay, so I've turned the card around, and this is what we've got on the back. So at the very top right-hand corner, it says www.scificollector.co.uk, and you've got the Torchwood logo on the back there. It says First Wave available now. And it's got Torchwood Cardiff, Captain Jack Harkness, and it's SPNR code, which is like a computer-generated barcode, if you like. Torchwood Cardiff, Gwen Cooper, again, the SPNR code, which is the same barcode. Torchwood Cardiff, Cyberwoman, aka Lisa Hallett, and again, you got the SPNR code. And Torchwood Cardiff's The Weevil, who was a alien that appeared in Torchwood, had also appeared in an episode of Doctor Who. Come to that. But anyway, SPN code appears there as well. And then second wave coming soon. You had the Blowfish, Ianto Jones, Toshiko Sato, and Captain John Hart. Bang in the middle, you got the barcode. And at the bottom, it's got manufactured by scificollector.co.uk, a division of Premier Philistec Company Limited, the Collector Centre, 79 Strand, London, WC2RODE. And you've got the telephone number there as well. It says Made in China. You've got the Torchwood logo on the bottom left-hand corner, and the BBC logo, the 0 to 3 years, and the CE sign, and warning contains small parts. And it said BBC and Torchwood are trademarks, and so on, and the copyright information just there. Okay, that is the back of the card. Let's turn the card round to the front now, and let's have a good look at Captain Jack himself. Okay, so I've zoomed right in on the figure there, and there you can see the facial features of the action figure. How does it compare to John Barrowman? Well, let's see if we can get both pictures in view here, because there is an image of Captain Jack at the side there. There we are. So we've got John Barrowman's face and the face of the action figure. What are they like? Well, in my opinion, the face is not quite there. It's a shame, because the rest of the figure is very, very well done, just like what Captain Jack wore in the TV series, but the facial features are just not quite right. If you didn't know that was Captain Jack Harkness, I'm not sure that you would know who it is, really. It's just not quite right. The hair is probably the best thing. That's spot on. The ears are not quite right. The eyes are definitely wrong. The nose is probably about there. And again, the mouth, I don't think that's quite right. The long neck of Jack Harkness, yep, that's about right. And then obviously down to the clothing and everything else is spot on. But the face is just, for me, it's not enough attention there has gone to detail. When we look at some of the other figures, some of the other Doctor Who figures, and the likeness, which are incredible, especially the 12-inch Doctor Who figure range. I'm a little bit disappointed with the likeness of the facial features. But there we go. That's my opinion. Maybe other people think it's a good likeness. I'm just not overly impressed with that. Okay, let's go down the figure. The shirt is perfectly done as Jack wore, and the braces. There's his belt and his black trousers, all the way down to his brown shoes, and there is the display plinth with the Torchwood logo T printed on top of it in the Q, or the 5-sided or 6-sided hexagons that all joined together to make the letter T. And of course, Jack there is carrying his revolver, which was his World War II revolver. So there are 5-inch figures this is supposed to be. So let's measure it and see if that is correct. So we are looking at, if we measure Jack himself, yeah, he's spot on. Well, actually, he's 6-inch figure. It's got 5-inch figures on there, and I'm measuring from the top of the plinth. So actually, from the bottom of his foot to the top of his head, we're 6 inches, which is 15 centimeters, unless I'm very much mistaken. Yeah, 15 centimeters. So it is a bit taller than what is advertised on the packet. Width-wise, we're about 4 centimeters, and depth-wise, we're again at about 3 centimeters. The plinth is also about 5 centimeters in diameter. So there we have it. So yeah, I mean, what can I say about this figure? I mean, I really enjoyed Torchwood. I thought it was a great series. All 4 seasons I thought were very, very good. Although I do think the last one lost its way a little bit. But generally, overall, I think it was a very, very good series. It's a shame it stopped at season 4 and they didn't do any more after that. But yeah, no, very, very good series. Figure though, I mean, I think this figure's amazing. Actually, let's look at the articulation, because we haven't mentioned the articulation. I know the articulation is pretty good. So you've got the neck, which turns, the head, which turns. You've got the top of the arm. You've got the elbows, which go up and down. I don't think there's no hand movement. So you've got just the 2 points of articulation on each arm, and plus the neck. The waist, yes. The knee, the tops of the legs, of course, yes, and the knee joints. Again, I don't think there's any movement on the feet. So you're looking at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points of articulation, which again is not bad on the 6-inch figures, although it's not 5-inch, it is 6-inch. So a little bit down compared to some of the other figures, but even so, still good articulation. So how well did these figures do back in 2006? Well, to be honest with you, it was only collectors that bought these figures. Obviously, the TV series was geared for adults. It wasn't geared for children, or teenagers, older teenagers, if you like. So the number of people that would have, I suppose, bought these figures was drastically reduced because they weren't aimed for children. Pretty much everybody that really enjoyed, all the collectors that really enjoyed the series would have gone out and bought the figures. I don't know the quantities that were produced, but I am aware that there was a lot more of certain figures than there was of the other ones. So I know the Weevil, for example, was mass produced. I know there was a lot of Captain Jacks. I don't think there was many of Gwen Cooper, and I certainly don't think there was many of the Cyberwoman. I think those were the less produced figures. So those are probably the rarest of this first wave of figures, and the ones that are more difficult to find, if you like. So yeah, I mean, they sold relatively well, but not as well as what you would expect from an action figure, I think. And as I say, I think that's because it's geared for a much older audience than for the people that would normally regularly go out and buy the figures. Collectors also would always buy the figures, of course. As with me, I did buy the whole set of figures, and they're in my collection, and they're unopened, and they will never be opened. But that's me. Now let's move forward to 2024. So we're going forward 18 years. Do these figures come up very often on platforms? Well, yeah, some of them do. So when I was researching these figures, I did find there was a lot of Captain Jack appearing on the platforms. There was a few of the Weevil. I didn't see any of the Cyberwoman, I should say, and I didn't see any of Gwen Cooper. So obviously some which were more heavily produced than others are appearing on the platforms, and the other ones aren't. So it's pot luck. There are some that are loose figures on the platforms. There are some that are still contained in the package as new, just like this particular figure we're looking at today. So yes, you can pick some up on the platforms, but again, on platforms, just be a bit careful what you're ordering. Just make sure what you think you're ordering is what you're ordering. Or alternatively, you can come to us at Midas Touch, where we have managed to find a couple of cases of these action figures. Well, no, it wasn't a couple of cases. One case of these action figures, but an assortment of different figures. And they are currently available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website, where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Torchwood items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on our website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we are uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I'm absolutely positive that this is something that you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you are looking for, something old you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful Captain Jack action figure with me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next video. So bye for now.